Hey, what's up guys? Chris here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get a win in Final Fantasy First Soldier when you're playing the Sorcerer class. Now, the Sorcerer has easily been my best class to play. Not exactly my favorite to play, but certainly my best. So in this video, we're going to go through one of my wins I got this morning, and we're going to talk through some of the decision making and strategies to help you win fights when you're playing as the Sorcerer class. The Sorcerer excels at using Materia, so you definitely want to leverage that when you're in fights. Let me know in the comments section below what Materia that you like using so far in First Soldier, and if you guys liked the video, you know what you're doing by now. Let's jump like a dragoon right into it. All right, so just landing here, we want to make sure we try and find a gun here early. So I did not get a gun in that first building, so we go immediately searching for a chest, get some weapons here. So there we go, we found some weapons right off the bat. And now, so this is one of the things I was thinking in this game. I've got Blizzaga, or I got Blizzard, I've got Fire. I see footsteps. This is a great time to try and push early fights. You have Blizzard, you have Fire, you have Thunder. Also, you have two weapons. This is what I'm thinking. I want to try and push a fight right away. Trying to find this guy, he's underneath. So run in here. So right here, I'm trying to throw Blizzard, but it's not ready yet. That's actually a really bad fight to take. That's why I back out of there. Sorcerer, you do not want to be in close quarters like that. You really don't want to force yourself into those close fights. I didn't know what class that guy was playing. If he's playing a monk, ninja, or warrior, I'd just be dead there if I try and run in that room and challenge him. So I'm going to force him to try and come out to fight me where I have space. So right here, you can see he closes the distance with melee. I'm running right away. I'm dropping Blizzard. The Blizzard's going to slow him down a little bit. Run away. Try and drop Fire at his feet. Aim was not great there. So he's trying to melee. I've already seen that, so I'm going to try and keep my distance as the Sorcerer. He really wants to push this melee fight. So I'm just going to keep backing off. There's a Fire, hitting him with that Fire. No MP now, so now I have to use my gun to finish him off. Just keep backing off. See, he really wanted to push that melee fight. I could tell that right from the start. Now, this guy fighting against me, once he realizes I'm backing off like that, he really needed to pull out a weapon. So he should not have pushed that fight like he did unless he had a gun to finish me off. So we see another player out here. Looks like he's either fighting some monsters or looting. Try and get some cheap shots. See if we can kill him early. Aim's okay. He's healing. Looks like he's, during this reload, probably going to get behind this hill. Yeah, I think this guy did get away. So I see some gunshots on my screen here. So we're going to identify where he's at. You can see this guy up on the hill. Looks like he's maybe fighting some monsters. That's not exactly anything to do with a Sorcerer. That was just a guy, looks like he's fighting monsters, standing completely still there. Definitely don't do that. Don't stand completely still. All right, so while we have some downtime here, and you can see I found those heals, I do want to talk about your Materia loadout when you're playing the Sorcerer. I think Fire or Faraga is an essential Materia to carry as a Sorcerer, and we're going to see later in this game why I think that's the case. It does so much damage, it is a low MP cost, and so I think Faraga, if you find it, you definitely have to carry it. I like putting it in that second slot because if you're playing on controller, what that actually lets you do is push that, get my grab it controller here. You can push that left bumper in, and then you can actually aim it with your right trigger. So it's actually pretty easy to aim. And I'll make a quick note here. You see me stopping by the upgrade machine, upgrading the melee weapon. So Sorcerers, your melee weapon as it upgrades makes your Materia, or at least Blizzard, Fire, and Thunder do more damage. So you want to make sure you try and upgrade your melee weapon. So anyway, I like putting Faraga on that second slot because it's easy to aim. You can see, aim it here, hold down the right trigger, and you can kind of aim it using that. So I use my two Materia that I have to actually aim. I put those on my right trigger and my right bumper. So I put them in those first two slots. So if I had Thunder, I really should put Thunder in my first slot here, but because you actually have to aim and throw Thunder out. Same thing with like Bio, you have to aim that, so that's something you'd want to put on one of your right two spots. So the second spell I really like to carry is Blizzard. Now, Blizzard or Thunder work for this. I like to have at least one Materia that's good for area control, and we're going to see how I use that when we get into some fights here later in this game as well. Basically creating yourself space by using Thunder or Blizzard to back off and either use guns or be able to throw Faraga at some enemies. So now we're out here looking for some other players. I hear some gunshots from this direction. In that third slot, finally, we'll talk about in this Materia conversation, I usually like carrying Cure. If you can carry Cure, it's a great backup if you can't find potions or you need a quick heal. If you stack Cure on top of potions in the middle of fights, you can actually heal twice as much or heal twice as fast. So that's another important distinction to make as well. So you can see here in between time, I talked about this in my how to win video, but I'm thinking right now, I'm like, I don't think there's any players in my area. I need to go right now. I need to find some monsters and get some XP. I guarantee that the way I've been fighting so far, I have not, I'm not the highest level in the lobby. So I want to make sure I'm staying, keeping pace with those players. So I see another player out here on a motorcycle. I'm not sure if he disconnected or is AFK. That's just kind of a fortunate kill there. So the last two players, one of them fighting a monster, the other one maybe disconnected on a motorcycle. Lucky kills, I guess. So you can see there as I loot this guy's body, he has Cure. So I go in, I replace Cure, or I replace my Thunder with Cure in that third slot. So for me, this loadout I have right now with Materia, this is ideal. So now I want to push fights. I love my Blizzard, Fire, and Cure as my loadout. This is what I like fighting with. So make sure that you find what materia you like using and that you try get that loadout. And then once you get the loadout you like, push fights, push fights, push fights. So you can see this guy's shooting me from the distance here somewhere. I don't know where he's at, so I'm going to disengage from him. We find some more footsteps this direction. This guy's looking to probably loot this supply drop over here. So because I like my loadout, I got a nice hit on him. I'm going to try and push this fight. You see how I try and keep my distance, right? I throw the Blizzaga down. I instantly recognized he's carrying that sword, and he's a warrior. So he's trying to close that distance. He uses the rush, melees me a bunch. So here's a big thing with that fight. Warriors want to do that, right? They want to rush towards you and just melee combo you. What I did right there is as he's going through his melee combo, I just dropped a Faraga right at my feet. And it basically, I hit myself, but the point of that is to stop his combo and create that distance. So I hit both of us with that, created that distance. He still has his melee weapon out, and I just fried him to finish that fight. That was a really, really tough fight. You have to hit that Faraga. That's why I love carrying it. When warriors close that distance on you, they really, really, really want to get that melee combo off. You just blast them with Faraga. So you can see the same thing here. I'm going to try and create high ground. This ninja, he tries to get melee damage there. So same thing, same strategy. I tried to get that Blizzard. I cast that on top of the plateau there. I backed off away from him. So try and create that space, back off away. He tries to get the melee combo as I'm trying to back away. I missed with my fire attack, but as he's going through his melee combo, I just roasted him with my LMG. So again, using that area control, so either Thunder or Blizzard, create a little bit of space from these players that want to do melee attacks. So ninjas, monks, and warriors, create that space, back away, try and throw maybe a fire or two, and just hit them with your guns. And hopefully that you can aim well enough with either your fire or your weapons in order to finish them off before they can get melee combos off on you. So again, we just finished those fights. I'm thinking maybe there's not any other players in this area. We picked up a revolver from that supply drop. I'm thinking there's not other players in this area. I want to fight monsters, get a little bit of XP. I'm probably close to the highest level in the lobby. I want to make sure that I have that XP advantage. So I'm going to go up here and kill this bomb to level up. By the way, when you're fighting bombs like this, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of staying back, stay over the hill. You can either put an obstacle between you and the bomb and it'll just kind of throw its fireballs into him. So we had another player here, so I cast Blizzard maybe a little early there, but you can see it slows him down. And basically I'm just going to hip fire my LMG and stay mobile. So he does the same thing, cast a Blizzard to create space. So I'm actually going to back off from that Blizzard because I'm starting to get shot from somebody else. So, and I don't know where these shots are coming from, so I'm going to try and stay in cover here. You can see I'm keeping those pipes over my head, and I don't know where those shots are coming from. I see the loot box out here in the field, so I know this guy got finished off. There's no reason for me to press that fight. You can see the loot box out there, so I know he's been finished off. I don't know where these shots are coming from, so I'm just backing away from this. There's no reason to try and find this guy with my weapons. 15 people left, 5 kills. We're on this, I believe this is the 3rd circle. I've already looted this supply drop. So basically what I'm gonna try and do now is on this big circle here, there's actually a player there to the left. I didn't see them during the live game, or do I see him? Oh, that footsteps here. So there's not really much you can do from this distance as a sorcerer. So just gonna try and throw some shots at him. But anyway, as I was saying, during these rotations, what I like to do during this third circle now is trying to get to that middle of the circle, because then whenever the circle closes in on a certain spot, you'll be able to rotate into that circle a lot easier. So the one thing I'm trying to do here is identify some high ground, or identify a good location that's near the middle of the circle here. So you'll see what I do is I'm actually going to go up to this cliff side that's to my right, because it's kind of a high ground in the middle of this circle. And I remember I was playing this game, I was like, this guy's Houdini over here. I could not figure out where that guy went. Maybe he was playing a ninja, got behind that hill or the grass used hide, and ran off somewhere where I couldn't find him. So we're up here, we're just establishing high ground in this next circle, listening for any shots that we can find, trying to identify where some of these players might be. With this Inferno LMG, you can kind of fight at distance. It's pretty good at just sort of spamming bullets at distance, but other than that, it's not really great for like snipe. Like if somebody has a sniper rifle, definitely don't try and challenge him with this LMG. So again, talking about our downtime here, I'm on top of this plateau. I took a quick survey of the area, said, okay, I don't see anybody in my immediate vicinity that's going to be up on this plateau with me. Fight some monsters, get some XP. Don't be idle, don't be idle. Whenever you get the chance, grab some extra XP, keep your level high. So now again, this is kind of the large side of the plateau. You can see there on the map up and to the right, there's a lot of space. So now there's somebody up on the plateau with me here. So same strategy here, use Blizzard, create some space. I can already see his weapon. That guy didn't have any HP, but you could see he was carrying a sword. So I knew he was a warrior. Instantly I saw that you could kind of see I took a step or two back, and then he only took 1 or 2 shots. But if that fight had gone longer or he had more HP, I wanted to make sure that he was not within that distance that he can just rush. And if he does rush at me, then that's when I ready my fire and try and drop him before he can get that melee combo up. So we find a guy down here, pull out the revolver, get some cheap shots on him. So you see right there, identified instantly he's a warrior. Keep that in mind for the future if I find this player again. So if I could have hit that third shot, first 2 shots hit him for 82. If I could have headshot that third shot, maybe would have killed him. 162. See, I had 175, probably wouldn't have been able to kill him. Anyway, the revolver I actually really like. A lot of people I see leave this on the ground. I actually think it's a pretty decent long-range challenge weapon. Like if players want to challenge you with a sniper rifle, the revolver does almost as much damage with the body shots. It does 41, the sniper I think does 54, something like that. Those numbers are pretty close, but the revolver does almost as much damage and it shoots considerably faster, and it's got a pretty good zoom level on it, at least the gold and the purple version. So I like using the revolver as like a long distance challenge weapon. So circle closes in. I already know I've identified there's nobody up on this plateau behind me, so I can drop down here. This is still a good spot on this circle. You can see it's kind of higher than the rest of this area where you can see down. So I'm going to survey this supply drop, see if there's anything useful in here for me. You have to be super careful, by the way, when these supply drops coming in. I'm right next to it, which means I can jump down and grab it real quick, but players generally flock to these, especially in the mid game. The later you get in the game, players have their loadouts and they don't want to take the risk. So you have to be really careful going for these in the mid game. Somebody might just be looking at it and want to snipe you as you're trying to loot it. So this is just one of those small tips here. You can see as I'm tapping to loot these loot piles, and then also as I loot this box, you can actually move your joystick around, or if you're on a phone, you can actually do this while you're looting so that your player's moving around and you're harder to hit. A lot of times I see players when they're looting, like I'm doing right here, that you shouldn't do, where you basically loot something and they just stand still, like I'm doing right here. You definitely don't want to do that. It's just really hard for me to be navigating those menus at the same time that I'm trying to grab the items and move around. So you can actually tap that loot and you can move around a little bit while it's auto looting a box, and if there's specific things you need to grab, maybe you have to stand still for a second, but it keeps you from getting sniped really easily while you're looting boxes. Just one of those small things that can help you. So I find another player over here on this hill. Probably could have used the revolver to challenge this. We get what, 3 hits in on him? So that's the same guy. You can see the skin. It's the same guy that we were shooting at before that was down low that I hit with the revolver twice. So we know he's a warrior. So I know there's 4 players left. One of them is going to be a warrior. So I can see the shots coming in. I'm not exactly sure where this guy's at. I know he's somewhere over this hill, but again, when you're not playing a ranger, sometimes it can be really hard to identify. Or I found him. 2 more revolver shots. That guy's probably getting sick of me. Okay, so really important here. This is one of those things we talked about in our how to win video. As this last circle comes in, you see how small that circle gets? You see the rotation here. I know there's players to my right fighting. You can see where these shots are coming from. I'm taking cover behind the tree here. Try and get a couple revolver shots on this guy. And now you see my HP. This is already a bad challenge. So I'm going to try and get out behind cover here. Used the wrong spell there. So you can see the rotation I'm making. Instead of going through that large part of the circle where I know there's players that can keep me from moving that direction, I'm actually going around the bottom outside here. So one of the things you can do too is you see here rotating, and I'm actually realizing this is a mistake. You see my MP, I'm missing 4 MP slots, and my trance ability there is actually active, and I should be using my trance ability here. It increases your MP regeneration. While there's no fight going on and you have missing MP, you can just use that trance ability and then regenerate some of your MP in the missing time. You can see I hit him with the Blizzaga, I hit him with the fire as well. The second I start getting shot from the back, I'm repositioning back behind here to get cover. I really should probably throw a fire through that gap. So yeah, you can see I tried to. My aim was just really bad there. Jumped a little bit. So I did not, I was in a position where I was right between the players. If I had tried to just sit there and fight that and finish that guy, I definitely would have got killed from the guy behind me. So I had to reposition and get out from between them. So I know this guy's hiding right behind that. Fire has such an area of effect. You can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to leverage that fire ability. So again, just activated my trance here because I'm out of MP. I do not want to be out of MP as a sorcerer. You do not want to run out of MP. So I can know he's hiding right there. I'm trying to leverage. So there you go. There's a hit. I know he knew he was right behind that wall. So I know this other guy's back into my right somewhere still. There's still 3 players left. I know there's 2 players over there somewhere. 1 to my left, 1 to my right. At least that's what I thought. This guy had already taken position. So I'd lost track of this warrior that I was fighting earlier. So he actually had taken position in the circle. Pretty bad awareness by me. So now I realize, see, I see the guy in front of me, guy to my back left, I'm between them. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm repositioning so that I'm no longer between the 2 remaining players. I know he's up near this hill somewhere, so I'm going to use my Blizzaga, keep that space. I know this guy's playing a warrior. I think this is that warrior that's still alive up here. So we're going to see how we fight this. People love to try and hide behind cover here in the late game like this. Use your Faraga, force them out from behind cover. Ooh, so that Faraga missed. Man, I really needed that one to hit. That's a really good thunder by this guy. See, what he should have done is he has me down 100 HP. He should have come over that hill and kind of pressed that fight a little bit. So you can see I took a ton of shots there. I didn't press that gunfight. Those are really bad long-range gunfights to 50-50. That's like basically a 50-50. So I get back behind this wall, heal up. So right now, I'm thinking I need to get my HP back up to 200, and then my MP, really. My MP is a big problem. I only have 2. So try and conserve right now. We have 20 seconds before this circle moves. I'm looking at my MP, I'm saying I can't push a fire. I can't even use like Blizzard and Fire back to back. So I identify one of the players back here. It's a bad peek by this guy. He has a sniper rifle, I think. If he was a better shot, he probably could have done a lot of damage to me. So now I know he's stuck behind that wall. You see where the circle's at? I've positioned myself to this circle. Is at my back. Player to my right again. This guy's being super annoying, so I'm going to back off so I don't end up between these 2 players. I've got the MP now for a Blizzard and a Fire. So use Blizzard to keep that distance behind me so this guy can't press me while I'm pressuring this guy to come out of the zone. Really bad aim with my Fire there, but... So he's ninja, I see what he's doing. See, he's hiding and he's trying to get into a melee combat. So I'm backing away, use Faraga, missed with it. So right now, this guy needs to press this fight. It's just 1v1. He needs to press. So instead, he drops a Blizzaga, kind of in a bad spot, and then blind. So I'm going to continue to back off, use Blizzaga right when he becomes available. Revolver. So now I know he's low. I'm going to press this. have enough MP for Faraga if I need it. We don't need it. So you can see some of the most important things we did there with that fight is we kept using Blizzaga, kept keeping our distance when I knew he really wanted to get into melee combat. So I'm throwing a fire there. I don't know where this last guy is, so I was trying to keep my distance. I have no idea how that the last guy did not get involved in that fight there between us. So now we just have a 1v1 here. Again, I have a little bit of MP. Kind of running out of ammo, so I don't want to challenge gunfight right now. He's got to move towards me with a circle. You see the circle, my back towards it. He has to rotate to me. So that one right there was just positioning. I know he has to come towards me. I dropped the Blizzaga. That way he can't come directly towards me. He has to go out to the left. We just use our gun to finish him off. Anyway, guys, that's a 7-kill victory that we had there with our Sorcerer. Hopefully this video helps you guys kind of see some of those live fights, see how you can kind of create distance using either Blizzaga. You can also use Thunder. If you're really good at aiming with that Thunder, you can create good areas, or when people try to hide behind those walls, throw a Thunder right against the front of the wall, it'll actually hit them behind them. So that's a really good way to create zone control. And then use that fire if people try and close that distance. Just blast them with fire or Faraga and do a ton of damage. Let me know in the comments section below if you guys like the format of this video. Appreciate you guys dropping in, and let me know what tips and tricks have helped you guys play with the Sorcerer, or what class you guys have found to be the most fun so far. Thanks for dropping in, guys. We will catch you next time.